For this course, it's really important to understand the difference between investing and gambling. A lot of people believe that they're investing, but when we look at it closely, it's not even close. Here's what I mean. Investing is a systemized approach we can take in order to work towards our long-term financial goals. Results are not guaranteed, but we can lean on hundreds of years of history to support what we're doing. In this way, we're not simply hoping for the results that we want, we're actively working towards them. Investing should be goal-based and reflect what matters most to us. Gambling, on the other hand, is taking a high degree of risk for an improbable outcome. We've seen this with meme stocks and cryptocurrencies in recent years. When we're placing bets on things we don't fully understand and we're just hoping that they go to the moon, it can really only be considered gambling. The amount of risk we expose ourselves to often results in us losing money. We think that we're moving closer towards our goals, but in reality, it's more likely that we're moving further away from them. If you're looking for advice on which stocks to buy, this isn't the course for you. We're going to be focusing on building wealth in a systemized, predictable, and proven way that removes luck from the equation. Our financial future is too important to simply wing it. As Naval Ravikant said, in 1,000 parallel universes, you want to be wealthy in 999 of them. You don't want to be wealthy in the 50 of them where you got lucky. So we want to factor luck out of it. The biggest objection to investing, especially for people who have never invested before or are new to investing, is a fear around the possibility of losing all of their money. This is a rational fear to have because money is hard earned and nobody likes losing money. But this is a fear that should be tied to gambling and not investing. When we gamble, the odds simply are not in our favor. When we hear about a company to invest in from a friend or a coworker or from someone online, it's likely much too late. The best way to illustrate this is to compare stock charts and Google searches. We find that the highest activity in Google searches happens at the peak of a company's value, meaning that more people are buying for the ride down than for the ride up. As investors, we want to completely avoid gambling. Firstly, because chances are it'll do more harm than good. And secondly, our financial plan should work without us having to take on unnecessary risk. If your retirement and financial plan hinges on your ability to successfully gamble your life savings, please get a different financial plan. When we invest properly, we should be invested in dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of different companies. It's the idea of not putting all your eggs in one basket, or the idea that there are safety in numbers, also known as diversification. At any point in time, a company has a very small chance of failing or going bankrupt. If we're invested equally in 100 different companies and one or two go bankrupt, it'll likely have very little impact on our overall success. If we're worried about the possibility of losing all of our money while invested properly, I would call that an irrational fear, and the reason is quite simple. The stock market is made up of companies that we work at and produce products and services that we use every single day. The bond market is mostly made up of offerings from governments, banks, and those same companies that make up the stock market. We use and interact with the companies that we invest in all the time, even without knowing it. A world where a properly diversified and invested portfolio drops to zero is one where every company around the world has gone bankrupt, every government around the world has failed, no one has a job, and money has no value. If this ended up being the reality, money would be the least of your worries. Also, we have to recognize that not investing doesn't actually avoid this problem. If your money is sitting in savings, it would still have no value in this scenario. So whether you're investing or not, the chance of your money losing its entire value would be the same. So you might as well put your money in the best position possible for it to work for you. If you're worried about gambling and losing all your money from it, you should be. There's a likelihood that would be the case. But if you're worried about investing properly and losing all your money from that, there's basically no chance. And in the event that it does happen, it wouldn't matter if you're investing or not. And realistically in this scenario, money would seriously be the last thing on your mind. When we think about investing, we have to adjust our mindset from getting rich quick, which doesn't work, to getting rich, period, which does work.